Hey YouTube, got another video review for you today. We're live from the kitchen, cooking you up a nice review, and I'm sure you're wondering, why are we staring at the kitchen? Yep, well, if you're looking around in the kitchen, you'll notice that, I've got a dark spot all the way up underneath the countertops. It's not very bright in here. And it's not that there's not adequate lighting, because there is. I've got a chandelier here in the dining room, and then in the kitchen I've got like 5 can lights, and it's plenty enough bright in here. It's just the cabinets stick out pretty far, and the countertop's dark, and it just kind of shades in the area, and it sometimes it makes it difficult to clean and cook because you can't really see that well in here. So I just happened to be on Facebook one night, and I was scrolling down through there, and I run across an advertisement, and it was from a company called eShine. And I thought, well, let me give these guys a call because they've got a pretty good product out, and let's check it out. So I'll go ahead and show you exactly what I'm talking about, and then I'll do the review. Yep, that's right. You see me swipe my hand up underneath the cabinet, turn the lights on? Yep, looks pretty sharp, doesn't it? I installed every bit of the lighting in like under an hour. It really is simple. I'm telling you, if you're an idiot, you can do it. It's really, really simple. If you can plug in a light bulb and plug in a drop cord, you can install this light kit. And I'll turn the lights off where you can see just how bright this thing is. And it's no joke. It puts out a pretty good amount of light. You won't have any problems cooking no more, and you won't have any problems cleaning because you can see. So it does make a world of difference. And I'm going to show you the kit that they sent me out, and I'm going to show you just how to install it. So stay tuned. All right, guys, I'm back. This is some of the parts from the kit that you'll receive, and I just wanted to show you how it all works and fits together. And like I said, it's really simple. The first thing that I noticed when I unboxed the product was, wow, it's made from actual metal, and it's actually aluminum. The housing right here is aluminum, and then there's some plastic end caps, and then there's like a lens cover that covers all the LED bulbs there. And anyways, it seems to be made really well, and so I was pretty impressed with that. And then they give you plenty of ways to connect the lights, and what I mean by that is, if you want to hook one light right here, and then you got to jump over to the next cabinet like I did over here. I'll put one under this cabinet, and then I skipped all the way across the stove, and then put one under that cabinet, and then one in the corner, and then one right there, and then a big one up underneath the sink, and so on. Well, they give you these little interconnect cables, and they're 3.5 foot long. So and they have them in all different sizes if you want a short one, or I think 3.5 is the longest one that they have. But they've got different sizes of them. You can look on their website, and so they make it really easy for you to to connect the lights together. Now, if you wanted to take and connect a bunch of short lights together, or even they make some longer ones, you're not just limited to the 12-inch. They make them in several different sizes. I think there's a 7, a 20, like a 40. Don't hold me to it. You just look on their website. But anyways, if you wanted to connect two together without using the cable, they give you these little interconnect brackets. And the way that they work is, you have 3 holes here on the end, and these little 2 tabs on each end is just to hold them together. The one right there with a little metal prong sticking out is your actual electrical connection. So what you do is just take and slide that in, and now you can take and plug another light on this side and make one long light. So it's just whatever you want to do. It's like a Lego set, pretty much. And so they've got everything covered. Now, the way that you mount these lights to your cabinets is really simple. They've got 2 different ways you can mount them. They send you over the 3M double-sided sticky tape, and it works great. I was a little leery about it at first. I thought, well, I'm going to get these mounted up there, and I guarantee I'll have one fall within a week. That has not been the case. This is some really good high-quality 3M tape, and I didn't have any problems because these lights aren't really heavy. Like I said, they're made out of aluminum, so they're pretty light, and so the 3M tape works great. Now they do provide you some little bitty T90 screws. If you want to screw them up underneath the bottom of your cabinet, you can. And they even give you these little plastic plugs, so whenever you do screw it into your cabinet, you can fill that little hole up with that little bitty plastic plug right there, and so it looks all nice and slick. So there's a couple different mounting options for you. So like I said, they made it really easy. Now, as far as hiding your wires, they give you these little clips right here, and they work okay. Now, if I was going to complain about something in the kit, it's the clips. You got to be kind of gentle with them, because if you push down on them too hard, it kind of renders them useless. They don't want to stay fastened. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that one's locked fastened, but this one's not. Let me show you. See how that one's opened, and then when you push it down, it locks. But if you put much tension on that, it's going to come loose, and it don't stay closed if you pull on it just a little bit. So that's my only complaint. They do work. Now you just got to be gentle with them. Now you don't have to have any kind of special tools to hook this up. I pretty much just used a staple gun, because in a few places the clips just wasn't the best choice, so I just used a real simple staple gun, and the one that I have has a little wire guide on the bottom of it, so you don't staple through the wire. And this is a Craftsman one, and you can see that you can retract that staple or the wire guide there, so you can use it as a regular staple gun, or you can just mash this little button out, and it pushes the little wire protector out there. The other tool that you don't have to have, but if you want to, you can take and zip tie some of the extra length of the cable, the interconnect cable up, and I just use the little side cutters to cut the zip ties. So you might not even need that, and you might not even need the staple gun. Now, if you choose to mount the lights with screws, then you just need a little Phillips head screwdriver. And this is just a little cheap Harbor Freight screwdriver, so you can pick those up for like $2 or $3 at Harbor Freight. They're really, really cheap. But anyways, like I said, everything just seems to work great. I'm going to run you through some of the features of the light, and that way you can become a little more familiar with them. The lighting kit is dimmable, and the way that you dim the lighting kit is hold your hand up underneath the sensor. Now, yep, there you go. You can see that it dimmed it all the way down to 10% of the brightness. You turn the lights off so you can see. So now you can see that it's really dim in here, but it still puts out quite a bit of light. Each 12-inch section puts out, I believe, 230 lumens of light. So that's pretty bright. And so this is only 10%. Now, the way that you turn it back on brighter is you take your hand and you slide it up under here and just hold it, and it brightens right back up. Now, if you want to turn it off, like I said, all you have to do is just walk over here, slide your hand up underneath it. Well, I turned it on. Just swipe your hand underneath it, and it turns it off. Swipe it again, and it turns it back on. It's that simple. And sometimes I move my hand the wrong way, and I forget that the sensor is a little further up underneath the cabinet than what I swipe, and I don't actually hit the sensor, so I have to do it twice. But it works great. It really does. And so I wanted to show you just how I did my installation. And what you want to do is you want to pick a spot in your kitchen where you want the lights to turn on and off, because, and I'll go ahead and show you, one of these lights, and it's this one right here, I have my switch mounted right here. One of the lights has a built-in switch, and what I mean by that is there's a little bitty black sensor. It's right there in the middle of the light, and that's where the switch is that turns it on and off. And I know that's not a good angle to kind of show you what I'm talking about, but let me turn the light on and show you here what I'm saying. You can see right there on the box that there is a little black sensor right there. And then if you look at an actual light, there's not a sensor right here on this one. And the reason being is the sensor, it controls all the lights. So wherever that sensor is where you're going to be able to start putting your lights and running them in one direction, because you can't put the sensor in the middle and have the lights come on both sides. It has to go from one side all the way around. So that's why I put the sensor right here, and it controls all the lights. So anyways, I'm just trying to clarify this so you don't like put the sensor, let's say, right there at the sink and try to swipe right here, because it wouldn't turn on both sides. It would illuminate one side of the kitchen or the other. It wouldn't illuminate all the lights wrapping around the kitchen. So anyways, if you have a question about that, you can call them or email them, but they are really good about answering any of your questions. They seem to be really knowledgeable. So anyways, with that being said, the way that I have mine mounted is very simple. I've got the power supply plugging into the wall right here, and I believe it's like a 24-watt power supply. And as you can see, I've got the cable coming out of the power supply, and I just zip tied it up, and I held it up in place with those little clips, and then I have it plugged in to the end right here, because like I said, you have to plug it in on this side, and the electricity runs all the way around. So I went up underneath the stove. You can see I went up underneath the stove, and make sure you run your wire far enough back so you know it's not in the way of any kind of steam or heat. Make sure you get that wire pushed back as far as you can, so you know it's not gonna burn through the wire. And let me move these kitchen utensils out of the way. And so on this side, you can see that I just run to the next light. Then I bunch my wires up right in there, and I zip tied them, and then I ran them to the next light. Then I ran to the next light, and I zip tied them, and then I ran to the next light. And you can see that I had to drill a hole, and I'm sorry about the shaky camera work. I'm trying to do two things at one time. But as you can see, I drilled a hole for the cable to come up through. And let me show you what I'm talking about. I drilled the hole right up in the bottom of that cabinet. And as you can see, I ran the wire right there in the corner, and I drilled a hole going to this little hidden area right back behind here. And then that's where I mounted another light. Now this one is a 20-inch light. I had to order it separately from the first lighting kit because I didn't have enough lights, and I wasn't sure how I was gonna set everything up So I just got on their website and ordered the 20-inch light, and it seems to work good. And the way that I routed it was I took, and as you can see, come over here, and I drilled me a little hole coming into the cabinet and ran the wire just like I did on the other side, and ran that wire all the way underneath. And as you can see, I went from one light to the next, and I would just bunch the wire up with a zip tie, and I would use a staple gun or those little 3M wire clips that they provide, and everything seemed to work out good. And you know, voila, it's a done deal. It's finished. And like I said, it only took me about 30 minutes to an hour to do all this, and I think it turned out great. So anyways, if you're looking to add some lighting in your kitchen, this is the easiest way to do it. And so as long as you've got an outlet, they've got you covered. And even if you don't have an outlet to plug in to, they offer some battery powered lights, and so they've got a ton of different kind of lights on their website, so make sure you check it out. Now, I'm sure you guys at home are wondering, you know, I'm sure this will run your electric bill up. Actually, they're LED, and they use very, very little power. And to give you an idea, one of these 12-inch lights only uses 3 to 3.5 watts of power. So it's very, very little power. It's a lot less power than just leaving those lights on up there. And you know, if you're coming in the kitchen and you don't feel like turning those regular kitchen lights on, let's just say it's dark in here, that's plenty enough light to just walk in the kitchen and leave those lights on. You can pretty much see to do anything you need to do in here in the kitchen. So it is pretty bright. So you could easily come in here and wash dishes or whatever without turning all those bulbs on up there, because that's a lot more power consumption. So, and I'm sure you guys are wondering now, how long do these last? And the answer to that question is they have a 25,000 hour life rating on the bulbs, but you know, I've only had them for a week, and you know, like I said, they've worked great for me, but you know, it's hard to tell. They are rated for 25,000 hours, and that's a long time. That's many years of use, many years. So I don't think you'll have any problems, and I would say that, you know, eShine would probably take care of you if you did. And so anyways, I think it's a good product. I think it was very well built, and I'm happy with it. And I think for the ease of installation, I don't think you'll find a better solution to put lights up underneath your cabinets. And I think the feature to be able to turn them on and off is pretty damn amazing. Just to walk over here and turn the light on and off, that's pretty cool. And so, you know, anyways, appreciate you guys watching the video review of the eShine LED lights. And you know, I'm sure you guys will think of a million different uses for these lights, because you know, you can't just use them in just a kitchen. I think they'd work really good in a garage over, let's say you've got a workbench or something like that. That would work out really nice. You could put them in a pantry if you needed some lights in there. You know, there's plenty of different options and uses for these lights. Now, another thing is if you wanted to put them on top of your cabinets. Now, I've got just a bunch of old car stuff up here, and you know, old, you know, car part looking signs, and you know, just odds and ends. But if you wanted to, you could take and put the lights on top of the cabinet to shine up and show your stuff off. So that might be, you know, another option. you know, if you wanted to mount them on top. But you know, it's just whatever floats your boat. Now, the color of this light here is 6,000 K, which is a bright white. Now they do make one that is a lot more yellow, and they call that the warm white, and it's a 3,000 K. I don't, if you're not familiar with it, you know, the 6,000 K is a bright white light, and the 3,000 is like a yellowish warm light, like most people would have in their house. Now I chose the 6,000, the brighter white, because I think it lights it up better. Some people don't like it. They say, hey, you know, it looks like an exam room or a hospital, you know, like that. But you know, I want to brighten it up in here, and so I plan on changing these lights out here at the top and putting some different bulbs in them to match the 6,000 K colored bright white lights underneath the cabinet, so it all matches. So anyways, I appreciate you guys watching the video, and have a good one. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And you know, if there's something that you'd like to see me do a video review on, put it in the comments. I'll read all the comments, and you know, if you got questions, you know, just ask. I'll answer them. You know, I don't have any problems with answering you guys. In fact, I answer quite a few of the questions that I get from you guys every day. So I really do appreciate you watching, and so have a good one. Oh, and before I forget, I just wanted to let you know that this is not a paid advertisement. Nobody told me to say, hey, these are great lights, or none of that. This is just me doing just an old redneck review. You know, I think that they turned out good, and I think they'll last for a pretty good while. So anyways, I give them 2 thumbs up. And so, signing out. Talk to you guys later.